12 minutes before Starship's static fire test, a panicked voice crackled through Elon's headset. Mr. Musk, 2 engineers still on the pad. We can't engage the safety lock. Elon slammed his palms against the control room's observation glass. Through the torrential rain, he made out the figures. Diaz, the rookie engineer who'd broken his ankle on that same pad last week, now wrestling with a fuel valve despite his fiberglass cast. Beside him, Chen, the grizzled NASA veteran who'd survived 2 shuttle disasters, held his soldering iron with rock-steady hands. The abort siren screamed, but neither man moved. God damn it, what are they doing? Elon's knuckles whitened against the reinforced pane. Valve 12, Mr. Musk. Diaz's voice came through the headset, ragged with exertion. It's backwards. The simulations missed it. Chen never looked up from his soldering, the rain sizzling against his iron. This is what blew last week's test. Diaz spent 36 hours running 3D models to confirm. Elon's gaze locked onto Diaz's cast, covered in the same childish rocket doodles X scratched into his school notebooks. Then the weather alert blared. Storm front closing. Launch window collapses in 7 minutes. Elon saw the pain twist Diaz's face as the kid wrenched the valve harder. He tore off his headset and bolted for the door. Too late. As the engines roared to life, the control team scrambled for the blast shelters. But on the monitor, 2 figures remained frozen in the camera feed, Diaz and Chen, making final adjustments to Starship's fueling interface, their silhouettes backlit by the hellish glow of ignited Raptor engines. When liftoff confirmed flashed across the main screen, the room erupted. Elon stood apart, watching through rain-streaked glass as the engineers limped toward the hangar, Diaz leaning on Chen's shoulder, Chen gripping the younger man's tool belt. His hand shook as he thumb-typed to X, met real heroes today. Want to meet them tomorrow. In the middle of the night after the launch, Elon sat next to Diaz in the infirmary, examining the rockets drawn in plaster. Was your father an engineer? He asked. Diaz's eyes gleamed. Yes, Mr. Musk. He worked on the space shuttle program. In 2003, for Columbia. His voice trembled. Elon remembered that morning 20 years ago, the only day he had ever seen his father cry in the office. Chen appeared at the door holding 2 coffees. During my last project at NASA, he said, handing one to Diaz. It was because of young people like you that I didn't give up. Elon noticed the old NASA logo on the coffee cup. A memento from the final shuttle flight in 2011. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Mr. Musk, the Starship is leaking in orbit. The 3 of them rushed off. In the control room, data flashing on the screen shocked Diaz. This is the scenario I calculated, but how? Chen touched Diaz's shoulder. We fixed that valve. This is something else. He zoomed in on the screen. Look, there's a microfracture here. Material fatigue. Elon's face tightened. Who supplied this part? Silence fell. Then Diaz spoke softly. My father had warned about the faulty material. He pulled out a USB drive. His notes. No one listened. Elon inserted the USB. A report dated 2002 appeared on the screen. Composite material test results. Insufficient thermal stress resistance. Signed at the bottom, Dr. Eduardo Diaz. Chen's eyes widened. This report, it's one of NASA's lost documents. I've been trying to find it. Outside, the first light of dawn was breaking. Elon looked at Diaz. Your father was right. And now you. The next morning, as Starship safely returned to Earth, Elon took X to the factory. Diaz and Chen were already working on a new prototype to replace the faulty part. X got excited when he saw the sketches on Diaz's cast. Did you draw these? Can I make some too? Diaz smiled. Of course. Actually, he pulled a small model from his bag. This is your father's first rocket, the Falcon 1. Elon stared at the model in shock. It was an exact replica. How? My father had the blueprints in his archives, Diaz said. He was a fan of yours, Mr. Musk. Chen showed an old photo, a crowd in 2005 watching a young Elon holding a Falcon 1 model. Look, Diaz's father is right here. Elon's eyes welled up. Years ago, those strangers who had believed in a dream no one else did. Now their children were the ones saving Starship. X held up the model Diaz had given him. Can I take this to school? I want to show my teacher. Of course, Elon said. Then he activated the PA system. All team members, please gather in the hangar. Standing before the crowd, he announced Diaz and Chen's new roles. You're now leading the materials safety team. Your first task, he glanced at X, is setting up a rocket workshop at this young man's school. That evening, after the night shift ended, Elon sat in his office, studying the Falcon 1 model Diaz had left behind on his desk. The tiny scratches on the plastic rocket reminded him of those early failures from years ago. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. A voice message from X. Dad, I put the rocket Diaz gave me under my pillow. I'll take it to school tomorrow. Good night. A quiet smile crossed Elon's face as he leaned back in his chair. The weight of the past and the promise of the future resting together in that moment. The excitement in X's voice left a smile on Elon's face. As he stepped into the hallway, he saw Diaz and Chen still working in the workshop. The young engineer, struggling to move in his cast, was carefully holding apart while Chen patiently guided him. Mr. Musk. Diaz straightened up eagerly when he spotted Elon. I found something else in my father's notes about the Falcon 1's last failed launch. Elon's heart raced. Was he there that day? Diaz nodded, only from a distance, but he wrote in his journal, Today a man's dreams burned up, yet even in the flames I saw how beautiful they were. Elon's eyes welled up. The defeat he had carried for years had been recorded as something beautiful in a stranger's eyes. Under the moonlight streaming through the factory windows, he saw that same admiration in Diaz's gaze, just like the way X had looked at the rocket model. For the first time in a long while, failure didn't feel like an ending. It felt like a legacy. If you liked it, stay tuned for more stories and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your location in the comments. For more stories, click on the video on your screen right now.